Hello again on Snooker Extra tonight from Alexandra Palace and the Dafabet Masters. It's an England-Scotland matchup. England's Judd Trump against Scotland's Stephen Maguire. Familiar lineup, this one, because they met at exactly the same point this time last year. Maguire won the day 6-4. In fact, the Scot has a pretty healthy record against his fellow UK champion Trump. So what would give today? Let's find out in the company of Dennis Taylor and John Parrott.
And it's Judd Trump who gets this first frame underway with a pretty good length with his break-off shot. No value in having a go at that red because the black's tied up at the moment. I know Pete Godwin, the table fitter, did have a look at the table. We talked about it possibly drifting off. We've seen Sean Murphy miss the red 3 times down the left side of the table as we look at it. It was just a slight adjustment, but there was very little wrong with the table. I think, John, the players was just getting a little bit of side on it, and these tables, this cloth in particular, is so lively.
Yeah, and the fact that they're shaven as well, these cloths, they're taken right down. There's virtually no nap on them at all. So they're very slippy, and any unwanted side is exaggerated. A fascinating match, this. Wouldn't be too many players with such a good record against Judd, but Stephen Maguire's got one. And he looked like he was coming into really good form at the UK, Stephen Maguire, and unfortunately for him, he ran into the juggernaut that was Neil Robertson. If you remember there, he made a century first shot and then just had to sit in his chair for the rest of the afternoon. The Australian was truly brilliant that day. Sometimes you just have to hold your hand up and say, well done.
Well, that is a possible plant, but it's a bit risky. Wouldn't know what was happening in the cue ball. He hadn't got the correct angle to go at it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just wondering now, though, because he's played the safety the way he has and hit the yellow, he may have left this for Stephen Maguire to have a go at, because there is a path back to the baulk area. It's just off, slightly off, but it can definitely be made. And if Stephen Maguire can play the cue ball into the baulk area without getting the cannon, he'll be taking it on.
Kiss on the brown. He put everything into the plant and wasn't quite sure what was going to happen to the cue ball. That's what he was looking at, and he was just playing the first red to the right jaw of the pocket. That's how you size the plant up, and he couldn't hit it any better.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where Judd's probably thinking, wish he'd have took it on now. I know he didn't have the natural position back into the baulk area for safety, but unfortunately for him, after the safety, plant was still there.
Now he's got a bit of an angle on this red. It all depends on the angle as to whether he can develop the black. It's not going to be straightforward. That's a bit too straight, but the red in the middle of the 3 there. But that's not a good angle to knock the other red out of the way.
Yeah, I can understand that. He was just trying to pinch a little bit. He knew full well there, if he didn't get that absolutely flush, he was going to get a cannon, that cue ball coming back, and he just tried to pinch a bit to the left-hand side of the pocket as we look. And because of that, he missed it.
I mean, the cue power that Judd has is quite incredible. Look where the whites finished up there. Okay, he used another ball when he screwed back, but he hardly hit that. And look where the whites finished up. Now watch the white. The screw takes effect, and this reverse side, effortless for him to screw back, as he's proved again there with the shot with the reverse side. He's certainly got some shots in his armour, this boy.
Yeah, he's just slightly struggling for perfect position at the moment. And once again,
6.
a little bit short, but blue bin off the spot isn't a hindrance. Slightly off there, he can drop it in. There's a red to the left of the pink available. Well, got a choice of reds. Once again, not totally ideal with the cue ball so close to the cushion.
11.
Good shot, that. Not better than it looked. Quickly as possible, he'd love to get that red that's closest to the black spot out of the way. You can get position there, get on the black, back on the spot, and it'll become a lot easier for him. And that was beautifully played. Good shot, that, Dennis, wasn't it? First frame in a table like this.
14.
It's a good indication of how well you are cueing. And oh, that seemed to kick.
15.
He's still on the blue, and he would want to be getting on the red that you mentioned, John, but let's have a look at this. Yeah, just jump slightly. But he still can take the blue in the corner and get on the red that John mentioned.
That was one of those funny situations where the kick actually worked out all right. Okay, he would have been looking to get the other side and he'd had an easier shot, but where it left him the angle, it was a natural to come back down, but good shot all the same. If anything, too good.
Well,
he certainly comes into this event, Judd, in good form. He managed to win his group in the Championship League. Lots of short, sharp matches over best of fives. Managed to beat Mark Williams in the group final to get
28.
through. Ronnie O'Sullivan won his group, and Judd Trump was the second person to get through, so he's in good form.
29.
Yeah, I think Ronnie reached a milestone, didn't he? 800 century breaks in his career. That's quite incredible. He's overtaken Stephen Hendry's record by over 50 centuries now.
36.
Now, is he on one? He just had a little flick off and he was looking from behind, but I think he can get through. Yeah, just played that with a little trace aside there, just to
37.
flick the red out.
Not bad. It's okay.
44.
Well, I think it's okay. Well, he may have to take the one with the extension on the rest. But I think it's an angle that he can just stun nicely over behind the black. All depends. If he can't hold it directly, he'll have to come off two cushions, but we'll see shortly. A little bit of noise just in the arena. Quickly disappeared. Oh, it's back again. It's gone. Now, can he play that little shot I mentioned, or does he have to use a couple of cushions? Yeah, he could hold it.
Yeah, judged it nicely. I always think they're slightly better shots than they look when you've got to put a cue extension on the end of your cue. It just changes the weight. And sometimes you don't get the shot right, but well judged. And he looks in fine fettle. Taking these very well.
52.
Wasn't easy start of the break. Slightly out of position, but since then, been
50.
very good indeed.
I think he's finished rather straight on the black here, which means he's got a little bit more to do, as you can see there, just slightly off. Not sure about this one. He's out of position. That was getting straight on the black caused a bit of a problem there. I still thought he would get nicely on a red. And he's just at the stage where a couple more pots and he's won the opening frame with one visit.
Judd Trump, 60.
That's all he could do, but quite a clever shot. Just trying to push the pink onto the side cushion. Because obviously 5 reds in the open. This frame is rife for a counter clearance, so try and get a ball safe, which he did there, or nearly did with the pink.
Well, he did have a go at the plant there. It was quite a tough one. And I think this red near the pink spot passes the one over the pocket. You can clearly see there, but still needs accurate cueing. Yeah. Or where's this red going? Where's the other red heading up the table going? That's more important. And he's a little bit fortunate because it looks to be absolutely dead straight. Had that red have come off the cushion, John, a couple of inches, he had a great chance to make a counter-attack.
He's been very fortunate there if he's left this straight. Quite a way off with that pot. It's only mid-range. Just don't see what Stephen Maguire can do with this.
Well, he played that well. That was far from easy.
He hit that beautifully. Obviously had a little bit more angle than we thought, but nevertheless still played very well. And I mentioned this frame was rife for a counter clearance. Here's the shot Stephen played, punched it in with a little bit of side. Let's see if he can make that counter clearance, because with the exception of the pink, they're all there.
Seven.
He actually got a chance here, you know. If he screwed off this black, he could play on the cushion and flick the pink out into the middle of the table here. He'd still be on the red that's below the pink, so there's a chance to get the pink off the cushion here.
Yeah, played exactly
14.
as you predicted, John, and it's put the pink certainly in a better position. It's still not ideal. As you see the cannon here, he was looking to hit it full ball and it would have gone right out into the middle of the table.
Thank you.
And this would be some frame
15.
to pinch, because Judd Trump looked odds on to take it with one visit until he ran out of position when he got on a straight black.
And all I will say, Dennis, hope the rest of the match is like this first frame, because this is very good stuff. Although
22.
Steve Maguire won't be too enamoured with that shot he just played. Left himself hampered by the blue on both balls. I'd love to have that one again.
Yeah, he'd got a lot of margin for error and just overdone it slightly. And now with the spider, as we show you where the white finished, this is tough. He's got very little to do for position, but in fact he's not putting it in the middle of the spider for some reason. He's just using the end there just to, but he's so close to the blue, isn't he? That's a super shot. It really is. I mean, just to roll it in would have been a good shot, but to play it like this and come off 2 cushions with a spider, 10 out of 10 for that one. And as you said, John, the way this match has started, we could be in for an absolute cracker here this afternoon.
30.
Yeah, no surprise Stephen Maguire was slightly underhit that one. The one thing he didn't want to do is go close to the blue again for that red, so slightly undercooked, but any colour off this red will do, so go up for a bought colour would be my advice. Make it
30.
easier. One of those frames that will really hurt the opponent, this frame you should have won. In fairness, he had 2 chances to win it. Lost position the first time, Judd, and then had the mid-range red, which you'd expect him to pot. And it was actually quite a big pocket, Dennis, if you do the red over it, but he didn't do it. And will Stephen Maguire's shot off the black to move the pink
36.
out into the open be the shot that wins the frame?
$39.
Yeah, he's just deciding now where he'd want to put the cue ball for the pink, so he's already 3 shots ahead. Does he leave it for that corner, or does he play for the middle or the opposite corner?
$43.
I think he'd just screw back about 12 inches and leave it for the corner. That's what he was queuing up at previously. Now he's having a little think to see if, well, could I leave it to the middle?
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit too much angle. I think he'd love that cue ball to be a bit straighter for that shot, but he's got to negotiate something else now.
Needs to be spot on, and that's not going to be spot on. He's going to be
48.
too close to the pink, is he? Oh, he's finished dead straight on it into the corner. He didn't want to be that close to the pink.
Well, slightly awkward, these shots, when you're so close. Difficult to work the angle out, but the good news is the cue ball's going towards the black, so concentrate as hard as you can on knocking the pink in. You've got to have position.
54.
What an opening frame. Judd looked odds on as he was going to win it in one visit, but what a clearance from Stephen Maguire.
Foul.
That's not bad. It's cost him 4 points,
Stephen
but he's
Maguire,
got the
4.
cue ball back down the table, and I don't think he's left an easy pot on. Much better going in, John, than rattling in the jaws there.
Absolutely. Hit the jaws, come back out into open play. Could have been trouble. Stephen's just seeing if he can have a shot to nothing. Here we go. He tries to swerve it, and the swerve doesn't come quite as much as he'd like, so he gets it too thick. Stephen thinks he's found a shot to nothing here. And he has. No play.
1.
Not the worst kiss either.
Yeah, a little bonus whenever that happens. You know, you've just overhit it slightly, as we show you the pot again. Very good pot, but the white could quite easily have slipped past the brown, but the nudge finished perfect for him. You can't beat a good nudge. And that's not a good nudge.
5.
Well, not ideal, but I think the red goes. Does the red? There's certainly one tight to drop in the middle, but the one the red is closest to does go up and past the yellow. So I'd expect him to negotiate this one.
He was playing into an area there where he had a choice of reds. That one looks a bit tight to me. Further up the table, he'd got the choice of 3 reds into the left corner.
Does the black go, Dennis? If he runs this through, will the black go on the other corner? Is that why he's playing it?
He'd have to play it with a trace aside to make the angle, and yeah, the black goes, John, as you can see there, and that, he would have loved to have taken that one on, wouldn't he? But he can get back there in a few shots' time.
Thanks. 11.
Table looks like it's running beautifully. Hardly hit that. Come back with loads of pace on it. Hmm.
16.
Not the best, that one. So the black's only available into one pocket, as you can clearly see. So he's still got a little bit of work to do here. Needs to keep on going, doesn't want to be dead straight on the blue. He's going to have to take the pink if he's straight on the blue.
Yeah, he's just slightly scrapping for position here, isn't he? He's just been a little bit off. Slightly off 2 or 3 shots.
Well, our line showed you that he was almost straight, so he did well to manufacture that
22.
angle from the blue almost being straight.
Thank you. 23.
A key shot coming up. If he can pot the pink and get on that red in such a way that he can run through and leave the black for the right corner, he can really open things up. Now, what angle has he got? I don't think he's gone far enough, and it's amazing how that inch or so can make such a difference.
I'm just going to measure
Yep,
this.
just comes down the table a tiny bit further, half a ball, and it's perfect. Run that through, you're on the black, you're going to play the cannon off the black to split the reds up, and it's most definitely a frame winning opportunity, but just coming short there. Yes, you're still in play, but it would have been so much easier.
Referee Jan Verhaas having to get the pink as near to its own spot in the direct line behind it.
29.
All the other spots are occupied. Or maybe he can do, just... Yeah, he knows he's going to nudge the other red, and he thought maybe I can just flick it and still get through for the black, but... That was the
30.
problem. He's covered it, or has he? Doesn't look as if it goes from here, but maybe he can pot the black.
If he's on that, that's a right result, because he certainly didn't intend to get the cannon like that, and that will pop with a bit of side. And look at the way he's setting up, it'll pop straight away. That's amazing. I thought that shot before was fraught with danger. I was thinking he was going to have to screw out to guarantee to be on a colour, but well, he was on it.
$37.
If the pink pot's at the bottom of the pack, that could be worth taking on here. Just a little stun up with that, and you pop the pink and open the 4 reds up. Let's try and leave it slightly
38.
low, which he's done. So now it's all about how these split.
We've had 3 terrific frames. Neither players clinched it with one visit. Can he do it here? Yeah, a couple of reds into play, but it's still not straightforward.
44. $45.
It's an excellent break, this. It really is. He's not been perfect for most of this break, but still keeps managed to keep it going. Probably had a little bit of luck with that other cannon he played, but the rest of it's been just brilliant hard match play snooker where he's just kept the break going.
Just picking the loose one off here before he
48.
decides. He's had a look at the scoreboard. He's 52 ahead. So he's going to need one of the difficult 5 reds. The 2 near the pink, 3 near the black. And he's got an angle now.
49.
And if he does cannon, the pink just not quite full ball. He'll bring the 2 reds into play. Another quick look at the score. 53 ahead. Just working out exactly what he needs. And if he pots the blue 58 and the red 59, he's still going to need one of the difficult ones. So he's got to play the cannon here.
Yeah, this is a little trickier than it looks, isn't it? It's not absolutely ideal, this. It's one of these you could play the cannon and slip off it and leave the cue ball near the top cushion. So got to hope this goes right.
And we had to look to see if the red would go in the middle pocket, but we'll find out shortly whether it is available. No, he's played the cannon, and how's your luck, Stephen? Could have been better.
Yes, he decided to play it a lot firmer than I
54.
thought. I don't blame him, because it's one of those ones you play it soft, he could slip off, but he took his chances and he hasn't been very fortunate there. Could certainly have hoped for something better, but that was a chance he had to take.
Stephen Maguire, 54.
And yet again, John, we've got another frame identical to the 3 previous ones. It's quite amazing, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and all of them fascinating in their own right. First thing Judd will be doing is trying to get reds off cushions, which he's managed to do in one shot there. Got 2 of them off. But has he left Stephen Maguire a chance? Far from easy, of course. We just get used to seeing these players knock these long pots in all the time, but these are tough.
Well, where's this red going to finish? Well, there's the answer. It's a chance for a counter-attack for Judd Trump. And could he somehow steal this fourth frame? An awful lot to do, but you wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, not only did he leave the red up, he stuck the pink in a lovely spot here as well, because Judd gets onto a red, the pink's there, stun it in, red near the black. He's just got that red that's going to be on the top cushion that's going to be a problem. But we saw yesterday, Dennis, didn't we, on these new cloths and the table being new, that the top cushion wasn't too bad yesterday, I didn't think. They were sliding in a little bit. So maybe it might not be as difficult as it would be normally.
6.
Just making sure that there's enough room for the red to pass, and there's no problem there.
Seven.
Doesn't want to be straight, and that's just about perfect. He's well past the position where the blue would be straight. Not sure if the red that's closest to the black pots into the left corner. That would be a bonus, because in a couple of shots time, if that
12.
goes, he can pot that and just flick the other red to the right of the black away. We'll find out very shortly if that's available to him.
Yeah, and there's the pink I was mentioning earlier,
13.
because if that red does go, pink, well, it does as well. The pink was virtually perfect for it. Perfect world, though. He'd like to leave himself high on that, Dennis, wouldn't he? Pot it and flick the other red out.
I think he's come up short to do that, John. Yeah, he's come up quite a way short to just pot that and flick the other red away. It's slightly more difficult now.
20.
That looks to be a pretty good angle, but you know, when you play this cannon, he could do with cannoning into the middle of the red and black and make sure that he puts this red on. And he didn't. He hit it full ball. He wanted to sort of play the cannon, didn't he?
It's amazing, isn't it? It's the shot 2 shots ago there
26.
where he was just coming up for the red. All he had to do was be slightly high, and that would have been so much easier. And he just didn't get that position. Consequently, it's gone awry. Surely even Judd wouldn't take that on. Good safety required, you'd think.
It's not straightforward off that red to the right, because he can't really get in behind the green and close to the cushion and guarantee to leave the red safe.
Yeah, I think the middle pocket's in play as well, isn't it? That's ideally where you'd like to be playing. I think if you play off that red, it'd have to be thin, and then you wouldn't be getting it safe. I don't blame him taking a bit of time here, because it's not straightforward.
Well, that was a risk. He's
trouble.
put himself bang in
26.
trouble now. But it wasn't a straightforward safety shot. But if Stephen Maguire judges this correctly, Judd's in all sorts of trouble. He'd be snookered. He's got the blue, the pink and the black to get the snooker behind.
Yes, it might have been good if it had come off, but the shot Judd played has put himself in a right load of trouble, and he knows it.
Thank you, Judd.
Still feels as if he should have played off the red on the right hand side some way, because he'll do well to get out of this.
Wow. He's got quite a bit of distance between the red and the cue ball, so that's one good thing. But one good pot here. And I don't think he'll go into the middle pocket with the cue ball. It'll come back round the table towards the black if he pots it, if he gets that angle. It's a bit of a free shot, really. And just the snooker now. It would have been a bonus to have dropped on the black, but he's so good at that type of shot, Stephen Maguire, the one he's just knocked in. He really is. Well, he's got a choice now. Does he just...
Black.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get him snookered rather than get a colour save.
Stephen Maguire, 1.
Now he's going to need a bit of good fortune here, John, off the side cushion, and hope that he can knock them safe.
Now, the only thing is, with that shot he just played, he's just left him the chance to do it. I would have thought he'd have tried to got behind it and block this off. Basically, he didn't make that snooker difficult there, Stephen.
Well, Judd stopped in his tracks there to see if this red will cut in. The smile tells you that it's a very, very thin one, so it won't cut in. Yeah, though it's the best of 11, you know, if you've got a 3-1 lead at the interval, you're going to be delighted. And he's maybe got a free shot here, John. He can pot the red, miss the yellow and brown, and come back up towards the black. Well, he's cannoned. He hit it wrong. That's why he finished up cannoning that. And has he got away with this? He has.
My goodness, he has a run of the balls at times, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Judd thought if I hit this right, he hit a bit too thin. That's why he finished up cannoning the brown and the yellow. But I was just thinking of that shot that Stephen played with the spider before. It was a cracking shot, but this is even more difficult.
Yeah, and due to the circumstances, a lot more pressure on it, isn't it? 2-1 down. Doesn't have to take it on, of course, but when you see it there, you think to yourself, well, it's game ball, but
yeah, I think it was more difficult than the previous one, and that was a good choice there. Okay, he only needs the red, as John said there, to leave Judd needing snookers, and it was just too risky because he was so close to that blue.
if he could miss the double kiss here, Judd, he could get Stephen in trouble. And he just played up and down. He didn't think it was possible to do that, so good cue ball.
This is a bit awkward. When you wouldn't risk just rolling and trying to get a snooker behind the yellow and brown. That could roll off. So, well, he has tried it. No, that was very difficult. He's put himself in the spot of bother now.
Yeah, there's actually a shot here as well if Judd wants to move the yellow off the cushion here. Well, he had a few ways of playing it, and I think there was other ways to do it. Could have hit that a lot firmer and come across the, tried to get snooker behind pink or black and move the yellow out, but he didn't do it.
Thank you.
Just having a little chat with Jan Verhaas there. I'm not sure what he was saying to him.
Thank you.
Yes, very dangerous frame this at the moment for Steve Maguire. All the balls are potable. Judd can get a chance. Yellow's now gone from an unpromising position.
Okay.
It's all about trying to keep that red safe. And he hasn't. This is a chance for Judd Trump.
Don't know whether he can pot this red, Dennis, without moving the yellow. He'd absolutely love to be able to, but if he pots this red, he may just have to stun into the yellow and hope he doesn't knock it safe somewhere.
But he's got to get up for a high-valued colour, hasn't he?
That's the problem. And I'm struggling to see how he can get on one here.
See, if he was to get a red and a blue, he'd only be able to tie. Look at this shot. He's on the blue.
One.
Unbelievably deep out.
I think Johnny thought he was going to clip the yellow as well and get so much more screw, and he would have come right up towards the pink and black, believe it or not, but to get there without touching the yellow was quite amazing.
Yeah, well, you'd be disappointed not to get to pink or black, but it would have been some shot. But in this situation, you can still win the frame on a respotted black if you can get the. I mean, it's difficult to get back to the yellow, of course, but get the blue and make sure you knock the blue in. You've still got a chance to at least tie the frame.
6. Judd Trump, 6.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating 4 frames here. Mid-session interval coming up after this. Are we going to be 2-all or 3-1? We'll know in a few minutes. The longest frame in the match so far, just over 28 minutes. And both players, I mean, Judd's had breaks of 55 and 50 in the previous frame, 60 in frame 1. Stephen Maguire's had breaks of 54, 61 and 60.
There's a slightly bigger target for Judd to aim at down blue and green down that area. He's got a little bit too much side on it there, but he had a chance to get behind blue there. That would have caused some trouble, but not quite. Well, at first I thought he may have been able to get past the brown and hit the yellow from behind, but can he do that?
I think he's too close to the cushion, isn't he, John, to get the amount of side he would need. But that last shot of Stephen Maguire's was superb because he's brought the brown into a better position. And you never know where they're going to finish when you play that type of shot. And he had to play it with a lot of side and a little touch of swerve to make the angle there. You can see he had to swerve around the black, and that was a terrific escape.
Got a couple of choices here. He could have actually go at the pot, but which he's tried and has. Oh, and the blue's gone in the middle pocket. Would you believe it? Would you believe it?
Judd trump 5.
Free ball, blue in the pocket, and if the brown goes past the yellow, everything's gone wrong.
Brown ball.
Can you believe that, Dennis? The things that happen on a snooker table.
I mean, the blue into the middle pocket is a good shot just to shoot the blue into the pocket. I mean, Stephen can't help himself from smiling there. So the scenario is that Stephen Maguire's had breaks of 54, 61, 60, and he's going to be 3-1 behind as we show you that attempted cut. Bit of a risky one, but how the blue's gone in there.
7.
I mean, he got the ultimate there, didn't he, Judd? He got absolutely everything you could hope for. He got a free ball, 5 points, and a pot available.
Well, being a left-hander, the pink's the wrong side of the table, but Judd is so good with his right hand as well. Be interesting to see whether he gets the rest out or whether he pots it right-handed. What is he, 11 behind, so he needs all 3 colours. Now he's going to leave it with the rest.
16.
So he's got an angle to get over to the black. So one more good shot.
Tricky little pot, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not absolutely certain, this. You know, it looks easy on the screen, but we know you hit the front jaw. On these tables, they don't have it. So still some work to be done.
Thank you. 22.
So one long straight pot on the black. And he'll go to the mid-session interval. A very happy boy. We are right down the queue, and it's there. Well, he'll be absolutely delighted. It's been a fascinating tussle so far. It's Judd Trump who leads Stephen Maguire by 3 frames to 1. It's been one of those matches where the scoreline could have read anything. It could have been 3-1 to Stephen Maguire. It looked odds on that we were going to be 2 frames all, but it's 3-1 to the juggernaut. Best of 11, so 3-1, not all that bad. Just looking to see if this red will pass the blue. Let's have a look. Well, that looks tight. It doesn't go there. You'd have to take it to the middle. He feels he's got a kick, but it still might go in. Oh. It was tight, but the kick didn't help. And so close to the pocket. Well, there's a good shot we can show you, the angle. And you can see the red jumping. Otherwise, he would have potted that.
One.
Good shot from Steve Maguire, that, to make sure when he played it he didn't make any contact with the board colour.
That's a poor shot from Stephen. He was playing for the red to the left
4.
of the bunch of reds and pink there. So He's only going to score 4 points from that chance.
Yeah, just got too low into the cue ball there, didn't he? And such is the
Stephen
level
Maquire,
that they're playing
4.
at. Yeah, they've considered that a decent opportunity. You don't get too many at this level. A good shot from Judd, that. Excellent.
Hit that all wrong. He was just trying to swing that around. It was a tough shot he was attempting there, and he just hit it completely the wrong way. I'll show you it again. He was trying to swing it around the back of the... it was okay until the red he played cannoned into it and spoiled it.
Good example, though, of playing a proper safety shot. One that Judd played a cracking shot there.
1.
Left him in all sorts of trouble, made it much more difficult for him to get back. And because of that, he's got his opportunity.
I think that's where his game's improved so much, John, over the last couple of seasons. He's been working on his tactical game. I mean, he's not going to change the way he plays the game. But if you can play that sort of shot that he played and create the chances and then do the business, it's a very tough format to beat. And you've got to create the chances for yourself.
6.
And he certainly did that with that excellent safety that he played. It's worth another look.
Yeah, lots of run inside around the angles, and only couldn't have put it in a better spot. So what's been a little bit
7.
surprising why he hasn't won last season, won a tournament really, because you thought when he was getting closer all the time to Ronnie O'Sullivan, eventually beat him in a final, and you just waiting for him then to kick on. And that was the confidence he needed to regularly be at the business end, but not quite happened for him. But hopefully here this week,
14.
the Masters, it'll kickstart him.
$15.
Well, that certainly opened things up, and if you can get the cannon correctly, it'll show you this split of the reds after potting that one. Just got to be a little bit careful here.
$22.
Just about okay, but it's quite a thin snick, this, and the blue and pink are a little awkward. Concentrate on the ball colours, and he's okay even if he lands on the brown. I think he can still get to the green. But just checking to see if it's touching. Jan Verhaas has
Thank you.
had a good look at it, and he's playing this right-handed. He looks pretty good with his opposite hand, Judd, but he decides, no, I'll make absolutely sure, get the rest out.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's one of those shots that's actually a little bit awkward for using the rest, so I don't blame him going back to playing this right-handed. He's pretty proficient at it, but just awkward using the rest for Judd there. Wouldn't have been any problem to you, that, Dennis, either, would it? You were...
Oh, look at this, John. Look where the white has landed. Can you get your breath?
Wow.
26.
Anywhere bar there.
Yeah, you mentioned I used to hate using the rest. I preferred to switch hands. I was okay, but only on certain shots. Not like the way some of these boys, they look the same when they switch hands. I think it was a letter I got from a gentleman from your part of the world once at the World Championship. He sent a letter. He said, "I love seeing you switching hands." He said, "I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous." It has to be from Liverpool to come with a good remark
26.
like that.
So 26, but he's so disappointed where that cue ball finished. And you do feel as if it's a massive frame in the match, this. Yes, we know it's first to 6, so 4-1 isn't the end of the world, but it'll certainly be far less of a task if Stephen Maguire could win this frame. These are really tough shots. I mean, it's difficult. I'll be surprised if Judd can get this. It really needs a very delicate touch to get right tight behind the green here. Yeah.
Judd Trump 1.
It's just one of those shots you just don't want to leave it short and then leave yourself in trouble. So looks like Stephen Maguire can get through to this red. Screw back into the balk area.
Where are the Reds going to finish, though? Where are the Reds? Got the good cue ball, but you're never sure what's going to happen when you have to hit it at that pace.
Good pop. Nicely controlled as well. Played the cannon onto the pink. It just looks like he's getting into the ascendancy. Okay, the scoreline would tell you that 3-1, but that doesn't always paint the correct picture. But it just looks like he's starting to motor a little bit.
And that has just finished very awkward. He's looking at the blue now.
You know what, even that jumped up in the air. He had a terrible contact on that. He'd have been pleased to see it go in. It didn't half
12.
jump. Left the bed of the cloth, but went in.
13.
Well, if he's straight on the blue, it could be the end of break. He's going to have to look at the more difficult pink. And that looks absolutely dead straight. So pink to keep the break going. A couple of reds available into the right corner if this goes in. Still not straightforward just yet.
19.
But I'm with you, John. It looks as if he's starting to take control of this match now, Judd. I think that frame before
20.
the mid-session interval was a big boost to him. It really was. And he's pushing on from there.
Just trying to hold the spot there so he could retain position.
26.
Which he's done. Outside red is potable.
And I think he can bring the black into play here. If he pots this and screws back, it'll just nudge the black. If he was dead straight, he'd just roll it in for the pink, but now you see the angle, so he's in pretty good shape here. Good job he didn't hit it any harder.
27.
It's interesting there how he switches hands when he plays with the rest. A lot of the left-handed players seem to do that when they use the rest. They use
34.
their right hand. Where's the red? The red needs to pull
35.
up. And it has. Four one, John.
Yeah, he's starting to look very good. I agree with you, that
42.
frame before the interval was absolutely massive. He's carrying it on. It's going to take a big effort from Stephen Maquire. But he's been around long enough to know if you knuckle down, you're still involved in the match. But this fella is starting to look very good indeed.
50. 51.
Yeah, it's just sheer natural talent and
57.
ability we're looking at here. He's one of those
58.
players that was born to play the game of snooker. Complete natural. And a little exhibition shot. Have a look at this. Have a look at that shot to get on the yellow.
64.
We called it round the houses. He
66.
went round the houses twice there to get to the yellow.
Yeah, some shot that was. And there's another one.
Yes, there's
69.
no disrespect to his opponent. He just likes to entertain this fellow. But you can't pot them all. But
69 and
it's a fabulous effort from Judd Trump. That break of 69 extends his lead. He now leads by 4 frames to 1. Well, has he got away with that? I'm not sure if that red goes into the right corner. No, he has had a result there. He was playing that long pot in such a way that he'd go around the back of the red, and Laxton hit it too thick. We'll just show you it again now. Yeah, this is a must-win frame for Stephen Maquire. 5-1, you'd give him very little chance. So he'll be giving this everything he's got to try and keep himself in this year's Daffabet Masters. it wasn't easy, this. It's not a good chance by any means. Pink tied up the black's a bit awkward at the moment.
One.
So I've got quite a bit of work to do here.
Four.
As I say, it's far from easy, this. I don't know whether he can risk playing for the black here. Played it well. As long as he got a cannon there, he was going to be okay. But he took a long time on the shot, and that was the reason. Played that very nicely.
And you do feel, Dennis, don't you, that if he's going to get back into this match, this is exactly what he needs, a decent chance, opportunity to win a frame in one visit. Some heavy scoring. I mean, just try and change the scoreline
12.
quickly. You want to be embroiled in long, hard frames. If you can get back into the match quicker, all the better. And this is a good chance.
13.
Situations like this where you just have to keep your belief. From what we've seen today, we know he's hitting the ball pretty well. As Peter said in the studio, there's not much wrong with the way he's hitting it. He's played well to be 3-1 behind. A couple of frames could have gone the other way. So you have to believe when the opportunities come, you can take them.
$28. $29.
That red to the right of the black's just been a little bit of a bugbear in this effort. He might be able to screw back and get onto that. I'm not sure if he's got the right angle to do that. Not quite. So he had to play the cannon, but even if he's straight, I think he'll be okay. He can screw back off the side cushion with a little bit of reverse side.
36.
Let's see if he's straight. Well, he is, but he can screw back.
37.
Going along very nicely here. He'd love to win the frame with one visit. It sends a little message out to Judd that he's far from finished
44.
here.
$45.
Just got to be a little careful here. Obviously that loose red you can see just below the cluster is available. If you play this, just make sure you don't stun up too far. Notice the way he played that stun shot there with a little bit of side, just widen the angle to guarantee he could be on this. He's looking pretty good here.
53.
Nice little cannon, and Should be on the red to the left-hand side that we can see. That's available now.
$60.
Just checking there to see if there's anything available in the middle pocket, but doesn't look like it, so needs to get an angle here just to leave himself possibility
61.
of a cannon. Maybe the bottom one. He's just looking at it now. Maybe that'll go. It doesn't need to play the cannon. Let's see that one up first. This has been very good. Very good indeed.
68. $69.
Tell you what, this is a sign of a true champion. 4-1 down, back against the wall, and he's producing this. Fabulous break builder. Stephen Maguire has made 312 centuries in his
76.
career.
Yes, and the cue ball has been hardly out of place
77.
through this break. When it looks simple, it's very good. That's exactly what he's made this break look.
$84. $85.
Nice little prize of £10,000 in this year's Masters for the highest break. Mark Allen had a magnificent 137 against Sean Murphy yesterday. Stuart Bingham
92.
almost making a maximum break when he broke down on the yellow. But no extra prize for the maximum. You still just get the high break prize. No century break,
92.
but I don't think he'd be too disappointed about that. He'd love to have cleared up, but he didn't. He's now just 2 behind, 4-2 to Judd Trump. You know, I think he might settle for that. Now that he's missed it, it looked like he could have scattered the reds all over the table. We'll have another look at it. He was playing around the back of the red and black, which he did do, but then he double kissed the red, and wasn't the worst outcome, was it? Not often you get a re-rack after 23 minutes. I did once, many moons ago, against Gary Wilkinson, who works for the association here. And it was after 40 minutes we had a re-rack. Just the way the frame went.
But yeah, that was fun to watch.
You would have loved it, John. Don't think you can see enough of this to take the pot on. Just a safety.
Well, he's been very fortunate there. He didn't play to leave the red behind the other one. Just checking that There's nothing going to get knocked over the corner pocket here. He's got to play off the side of the pack. So in the end, changed his mind. Played on the loose one and played it very well.
We could possibly play the plant with the safety shot in mind. He thought he would have a safety shot on if he attempted the plant, but didn't hit it as he intended. Now then, the black's tied up, the pink's tied up, he's on the blue. If he hits the pink full ball, he could bring reds, he could bring the pink, he could bring the black into play. Key shot coming up. Needs a bit of luck now. It could have finished better for him.
6.
Couldn't have played it any better. Maybe fuller on the pink would have been better, but it was still a very good effort and a bit unlucky not to have an easier pot than this.
Yeah, and the red that he's closest to, Dennis, isn't a particularly appealing angle. To play it with a lot of force to run it round, and even then, how do you get on another colour? So he's going to take it on. This is not straightforward. Yep. Yeah, very easy to play those shots and bounce the cue ball.
Maquire,
You're trying to hit, you're having to hit down a little bit, and the cue ball just bounces off the cloth, and you miss the potting angle. See the way the cue ball went in the air there. It's the type of shot that if you were just dropping it in, it'd be okay, wouldn't it? But having to play it with any force. Good pot.
1.
Pretty sure when Stephen Maguire was playing that safety shot, I think he'd be leaving that red. He's just got to be careful with his next positional shot. Just looking there to see if he can get onto the black. But if you play this red and screw back, it's very easy just to lose the cue ball here. Hit that nicely.
7.
Might have gone too far.
14.
Let's have a look what goes into this right corner. Does the red go between the black and other red? Just about. No. It was a bit of a distraction, but as you could see, there was plenty of room there, but it was as if he just put a little quick one in. That was probably because he hadn't got that much room past the red, he just overcooked it.
This is a very big part of this match. After that mistake, if Stephen Maguire can win the frame from it, could completely turn this match around.
One. Eight. Nine.
And in the previous frame, he made a beautiful 92 break. And every chance he could knock quite a few in here.
16. 17.
I think both players lost just a little bit of rhythm with what happened before the re-rack. The balls went very, very awkward. 20 minutes play where they hardly went for a pot, so you do get out of your rhythm somewhat.
24.
But he's starting to look good again here.
Yes,
25.
what will encourage him even more, Dennis, is the fact that his opponent's starting to miss a few. No greater encouragement than that. You playing well, and your
32.
opponent missing a few balls.
Yeah, Judd was up at 93% with his pot success rate not so long ago.
$33. Thank you. Go. 39.
Yeah. Potted 7 out of 7 with the rest so far. Make that 8 out of 8. No need to play any cannons.
4.
Those reds near the pink spot. They're all available because they'll clear each other. Just come up a little bit short of where he wanted
47.
it. Slight change of plan now. He'll have to head up towards the blue. And if he's too far on the blue, he's got the pink there sitting on the green spot, so he's okay here.
$48.
Brown's the one that'll get him to the 2 reds near the pink spot.
Yes, and he's doing exactly what's required here. Opponent's made a mistake.
52.
Mr. Pot he should have got. And he's punishing him. A match that was
53.
looking like it was slipping away at 4-1 is all of a sudden back on.
Yeah, I mean, the standard's been superb, hasn't it? I mean, Stephen's had
60.
breaks of 61, 60, 54, 92, and this. And Judd's had
61.
a couple of 50s, 60 and a 69.
$68. $69.
But Judd's been kept away from the table, hasn't he? Stephen made that 92 break, and he really hasn't had any chances. We had that
74.
at the start of this frame, or after 20 minutes with a re-rack. So I know he missed the red there, but he's lost a bit of rhythm, has Judd, simply because of the way this man has played. And that awkward frame doesn't matter about missing
74
that.
in the frame.
Judd concedes the
Maguire.
frame, and Stephen Maguire continues the comeback. He's now just one behind, 4-3.
One.
Just tried to develop things. I mean, the pink is a tough shot with the rest. It really is. He just knew he was canning into reds, and he thought, well, maybe, just maybe I can. And if he hadn't hit it quite as hard, he'd have been perfect on the pink. Well, it's one of those. There's no easy safety shot on. Take the pink on.
He's got a shot off the blue if he wants it. Play off the blue down into the bouquet and try and get the cue ball down behind green and brown, but you'd have to make sure you miss the yellow playing that.
Well, he's thought long and hard about it. He's back looking at the pink now, and I think that is going to be his choice, but probably better to play it straight away. But the more you think about it, the more difficult the shot becomes. Usually the first shot you see is the correct choice. That's what he's looking at, so he'd have to hit it where that little dot is to get the correct angle to pot it. So big shot coming up.
Yep.
Could be a big turning point in the match, this. Played nicely. Wow! Look where the red is finished. Boy, how
7.
close was that to potting both pink and red?
A brilliant shot, though, particularly with what's happened in the match since 4-1. Took a lot of nerve to take that on and pot it. And now,
8.
this is like a practice routine. Many a time you'd play in the club and you'd take the black off the spot and just have the pink there, a load of red scattered round, and try and win a frame off the pink.
But as I mentioned before, he hasn't had much table time.
14.
Picks of 92, 74, 48, 56 in the last 3 frames from Stephen Maguire. So he's going to have to use all his experience here. The chances there, just to make sure he can get that rhythm back.
Yeah, he's got to go up for the brown ball here, because obviously the red to the corner pocket
50.
is not helping the situation. He'd like to get rid of that fairly quickly, but not easy to do and then get on a colour, so certainly isn't plain sailing.
19. $20.
Wasn't his intended colour that, but he came plumb on the brown, so he thought he'd just
24.
drop that in and get on this red instead.
25.
So far so good. But once again, red being over the corner is a little bit of a problem. Played that nicely. And if he's straight on the one in the middle, it's ideal.
28.
Yes, he can win this frame with reds and pinks. Forget about the black and blue. And the great players in the game have the knack of being kept off the table for long periods of time, which he has been, and then they can respond
34.
like this.
35.
Yeah, he thoroughly deserves everything he gets for that opening pink, where the rest was a fantastic shot. He knew he'd have been leaving these for his opponents if he'd have missed it.
$41.
It's just the ebbs and flows
42.
of high tournament match play. Stephen Maguire hasn't put a wrong foot for 3 or 4 frames. Played one bad shot in this one. Missed it a potential shot to nothing. And now the pendulum swung back in Judd's favour. And hasn't he taken these well?
45. $46.
It's amazing. Balls potted were identical, and the points are going to be almost identical. Well, they will be in 2 shots' time. It's been a fabulous match. It really has. Over a 50 break in
50.
every frame. Frames where
50.
one player would make a 60 break, the other would clear up and pinch the frame. We've had a little bit of everything in this match.
Could have done with a slightly better position. Okay, 60 ahead with 59 remaining. He's a strong favourite, but just one more red would completely get him over the line in this. And it's there.
60.
This has been a brilliant break. It's not always about making maximums and centuries. It's about making frame-winning contributions in the heat of battle.
Doesn't matter about the pink. Stephen nods to Jan Verhaas and concedes the frame. And that's a terrific performance from Judd Trump. He lost 3 frames in a row without a chance. And he's come back and won that and gets himself back into the lead at 5-4. Just needs one more frame to get himself through to the quarter-final and reverse last year's score line, where he lost at this stage 6-4 to Stephen Maguire.
And no shot back to the baulk area there, so just drop the red onto the top cushion. Stephen, have a look at the pack there just to see if there's any plants available, but I doubt it.
And he's taking this one on. And I think he's been rather fortunate. There was an easy safety shot the other side of the table, but he's got his confidence up. He knows if he can get one chance, Judd, he could maybe clinch the match, but very fortunate with a double kiss.
Yeah, Judd tapped the table there. He's played a pretty good shot. Stephen Maguire there. Got the red covered on that side. Might have to just play a little swerve. Yeah. So much so, he's missed the red completely.
Foul. And a miss. Steve Maguire 4.
Just never come back, did it? The white didn't react, didn't get enough swerve on it. I'll show you it again. Just stayed there, hadn't got enough on it. He's putting him back in from where it finished. Doesn't have to have it replaced. Stephen feels that this is just as tough a safety shot as the previous one they attempted. And he made the right choice to let him play it from where it finished. And he got what we call the old dreaded double kiss. It's not a good chance though. Pink's out of the commission. Black also out of commission at the moment.
One. Thank you.
Terrific shot there with the extension. Can you imagine trying that shot back in the 70s with the stuff they used to keep at the side of the table, the long tackle as we used to call it? You couldn't screw the ball back an inch with the stuff they used to have.
No, they couldn't in 1970 anyway. I was 6.
I said 70s. Suppose you still had the same hairstyle then as well.
6.
No, one red goes, but as I say, so difficult with the pink and black out of commission.
I don't quite know what Steve was looking at there, but as you mentioned before, Dennis, quite correctly, not a brilliant chance this. 2 reds on the top cushion are, well, towards the top cushion, are available for later on in the break if you can get there, but well, he's obviously thinking of something here.
Well, maybe he thought
Stephen Maguire 6.
too much about it. Did he feel that the pink doesn't look as if it pots, but he must have thought that it did. But what a poor shot that. He cued right across that. That was more a lapse in concentration than anything else there. that pink looks tight. I mean, Judd's looking at it now. Let's see if he plays for it. No, he's played for the blue. He doesn't feel that the pink was available. What was... Now, well, it might look as if it goes from there, but it certainly didn't look on the real picture that it would go.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that goes with the cue ball. Maybe if it's a bit lower down the table, but if you take it on, the cue ball's running away, so there's no value in it. But we won't know now. But once again, not straightforward, the break. Don't know whether he's on a red.
6.
Oh, he might be able to get through the gap. And he can.
Seven.
And gradually it's turning into a half chance, but it's still very, very difficult the way the balls are situated here.
Dennis, that red that's just to the left of the black is causing all the trouble. Because, as I say, Judd's looking at those two reds. They definitely pot that are closest to the cushion, but the red that's above it. The only thing is, if he could get on that in a way and play a little cannon, he could just nudge that other red out the way. But can he get the cue ball down onto the top cushion? Well, if he's landed on a red there,
10.
that is unbelievable.
Well, he held his hand up to apologise, and Stephen smiling away in his seat. That was amazing.
11.
And that could be a great bit of good fortune at that stage to drop on that red. Suddenly the game has opened up a little bit.
As you've said on numerous occasions, you can have all the talent in the world, but you can't beat a little bit of luck. That was amazing. He ended up on that red.
See, he's just looking to see if he pots the pink. Will the pink go onto its spot? Well, all the other spots are tied up, so it'll have to go directly behind that red then, and it might put the pink back out of commission.
Give me a second, please, Judd.
Close to as possible without touching. Had a good nerve there for that one, which Jan Verhaas certainly has.
17.
It's going to require a good shot here, this. Yes, it wasn't the pot, which was difficult enough. It was what you're going to do with the cue ball. Always likely to flick off that other red.
Blue ball. Judd Trump, 18.
Purposely left the cue ball short there so he could cover the red that was in the baulk area. No value in playing down there because you just know your opponent's going to stick you back in trouble.
chance just to get this red back up the table and get the frame back to normal. Oh, he's screwed in off, has he? Good shot in the end. I don't think he was wanting to be that close to the pocket. I'm just looking at the green slightly in the way of coming off the side cushion and nestling into the reds there, but he's just checked to see if the red to the right of the black would be on if he plays that escape route. But yeah, the green seems to be slightly in the way of the natural angle to play on those. You see, to play that shot, he'd have to get lots of side on it. It's very, very awkward. That's why he's having to think long and hard about it. He's having to swerve around the green to make this angle.
Foul.
And he's
got
into the straight away, and he may have to have another go at this.
Yeah.
So the swerve took a bit too soon there and hit the green, but I can't see another shot available to him, so he'll probably attempt it again. That's the only shot I can see available to him, really. But he's got to get the swerve right. It's so difficult to judge. And he's still not sure if he would leave a pot on. He's trying to figure out another escape route, but he may have to attempt the same shot again. You can see there that the angle's not as he wants, so we'll know. Try number 2 coming up. Can he judge it this time? Didn't get the reds that he intended, and if this pot's okay, the pink and black's still awkward, but there is a pot on, and we know with the cue power that Judd Trump has. Just watch this shot. Made that look so easy.
Yeah, hit that lovely, didn't he? Really did hit that nice. Oh, where's the cue ball going? Ooh.
Six.
Oh, long way away.
Judd Trump, 6.
He's had 1 or 2 rubs this afternoon, has had Stephen Maquire raising his eyebrows. Look where the cue ball's finished there. Just makes the shot so much more difficult when you're hampered like that.
I think it was the one before the mid-session interval. He led by 33 with 1 red on, and Judd stuck the red up, but the white dropped in behind the blue, and he needed the spider. And that was the reason that it was 3-1 at the mid-session interval rather than 2-all. But there's some very good tactical play going on here, and there's nothing else available to the players. The pink and black still tied up. And that's pretty well played. just come up a little bit short. He can get to the one behind the black.
He's just got to be careful here. I don't know how much of this he can actually see, but you play the safety shot and you don't want to be chipping this red across the other corner pocket. He's played that very well. Very well indeed. Good shot.
Another cracking safety there from Judd Trump. I'm just wondering if that one to the right of the pink goes into the left corner and he could take it on in such a way and he could play the safety shot. Well, it'll go, but the problem for that shot is the red that's near the right side cushion. The last thing he'd want to do would be to cannon into that. So decided to make sure he didn't cannon that red, just played the safety shot. It's always nice to see the big breaks, and I think the crowd enjoy a battle like this when it's so important, John.
Yeah, when the tension's at its highest as well. Missing a few pots here and there is always exciting as well. Don't see it very often. These boys are good, but it does make for good watching. Excellent safety from Judd there. And this frame is gradually opening up now. And one mistake, it could be very costly. Red on the side cushion closest to the pocket is the one he's looking at, but you've got to make sure you avoid a double kiss with that one. Here's what it looks like from Stephen's point of view. Nothing down the right hand side that's any good. So you could play a safety shot off the red that's higher up the table. You've got to make sure you get good contact on that one. So no double kiss. So much so, he didn't play it.
Well, what a chance for Judd Trump. He hit that too thin. He was hoping to leave the white near the cushion behind the black spot area. He's opened the whole game up for Judd Trump.
One.
What a chance now. That might possibly be Stephen Maguire's last shot in this year's Dafabet Masters. As we mentioned before, he defeated Judd 6-4 last year, as we show you this. I think he decided to have a go at the pot there and just, he knew he'd be on the pink, but he hit it too thin.
7.
He's got to sit there and hope that somehow Judd can slip up. Just taking his time, not rushing anything, and I don't blame him for that here, John.
Yes, it's he knows the importance of it. This is potentially a chance to win frame and match. And sometimes you can get yourself thinking too much because you're trying to be perfect, trying not to make a mistake in it, as opposed to just doing what you've done in the rest of the match. We've all been there. We all know how important it is. You can start to overthink things. It's been a fabulous match, this. A little bit of everything in it.
15.
And aside from a century, it was a 92 break from Stephen Maguire, but the overall standard has been very good. Cracking match play. Ebbed and flowed.
16.
And it's not over yet.
Didn't matter what side of the blue he finished on there, with the red next to the yellow available.
21. 22.
I'm just looking again at Stephen Maguire's breaks. 61, 60, 54, 92, 74, 48, 56. And he could lose the match 6-4. He'll play a lot worse than this and win matches.
Yeah, he'd be getting fed up of hearing that. He played Neil Robertson in the UK. I mean, essentially in the first frame, and just watch for the rest of it. Robertson was flawless. And he certainly hasn't played badly today, but it's just the nature of the beast. You're playing at the
26.
top echelons of the game, and, well, they're all good. And some days you'll win, win matches, and you won't play that well. But at the moment, he's running into good players.
Just needs the simplest of reds to leave Stephen needing a snooker. And every credit to this man here for the way he's come back in the last couple of frames.
34.
He had to sit in his seat and watch Stephen Maguire win 3 frames in a row, virtually one visit. But the sign of a champion, when you can do that and then come back with a break of 60 and then this.
Yes, and
41.
Hark back to that shot on the pink with the rest.
42.
It showed his mettle. In the heat of battle, when he needed it most, he found a brilliant shot.
He was 7-4 behind in the head-to-heads before this match. He's closing the gap on Stephen Maguire.
49.
And there's no better feeling inside when you're walking around the table and you've just clinched a match. It's a great feeling for a snooker player, no matter how many times you've done it. Doesn't matter about the blue. It's been a fantastic match to commentate on. I'm sure it's a fantastic match to watch. But Judd Trump, in the end, reverses last year's result, and he beats Stephen Maguire 6 frames to 4.
Well, that was quite a match, wasn't it? Fantastic comeback from Maguire to level it from 4-1 down to 4-all. But Judd Trump gets over the line and into his first quarter-final here at the Masters since 2013. So much more to look forward to. BBC 2, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, is the place to be because Ronnie O'Sullivan marks his comeback after, what, an 8-month sabbatical? He hasn't really been seen in a major competition since losing in the quarter-finals at the Crucible last year. He warmed up beautifully at the Championship League last week. What will he produce against 2-time Masters champion Mark Williams? We'll soon find out. Hope you join us then. In the meantime, sleep well. Good night.